let's just sew whatever. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be cutting out the clear tailor tote, but we are not going to be sewing the entire thing. I do show you how I put together the front panel in a little segment, just so I can give you an idea of how we're doing it, and so I could give myself an idea of how we were doing it, but I can't wait to make this with you. Hello everybody. Today we are going to be making a clear tailor tote. Now, this is not in the instructions or part of the pattern. I just kind of wanted to have some fun with it. So right now I'm really quickly getting the pieces I need to make it into a clear bag. So we need the upper main panel, lower side panel, the lower main panel slip pocket. This is the stabilizer, and we are still going to add stabilizer. The recessed zipper panel, you could technically still add it, so let's try. We're not going to be adding a zipper pocket, but we could potentially use this piece to make like a slip pocket that hangs in the bag, so that's a maybe. We're not going to need the lower side panel interfacing. The upper side panel, we will need that. The interfacing we will not need, and then the lower main panel interfacing we will not need. However, if you wanted to make this into like a shaker bag, maybe I will do that. Man, when I start something like this, my brain just like floods with different ways of sewing it, and in my head I'm already like sewing it together. So if for some reason you still wanted this to be a pretty structured bag, and like I kind of do, it would be cool to cut out either a clear or a print and then use your interfacing to create almost like an interfaced bag, but this is like a clear vinyl that's going to back it, and then you fill it with glitter, and then you would top stitch around your interfacing, and then when you put your bag together, it's like 2 layers, but you're not sewing through four layers at once. You know, you're only sewing through 2 layers because your interfacing pieces would be butted up next to each other. I kind of want to do that. So maybe I'll just make it like completely clear, but fill it with glitter and not even use like a print of any sort. Because I'm thinking, so imagine that this is my front panel, and then this is my glitter backing, I guess we could say. So this would be on the inside. I would still be able to sew a pocket as well as my webbing to the front and then back it with the glitter panel, right? So I mean, that goes about there. I think it would still work okay. It would look really cool. And then I think I might use jelly vinyl for the bottom panels so that I can add my stabilizer still. Let's just try it. So I'm gonna grab my materials really quick. I don't know, maybe I'll do ducky, I don't know. I created my own little glitter mixes, so I have butterflies, ducks, mice, bats, and little game controllers, and I'm almost thinking I want to do the bats. My 2 moods are like bats and butterflies. I could do both. All right, and I'm gonna grab clear vinyl. And this is a TPU vinyl, so it's not quite as sticky or stiff as a PVC. So these 2 layers are going to be not a huge issue on most sewing machines. Just make sure that you're using the right settings, I guess. Settings and feet. Oh, I could do a jelly vinyl slip pocket. That would be pretty cute. So like I could use this for the slip pocket. Let's see what kind of webbing. I have like a purple. That could be fun. This one's not quite right. I've got stripes, black. Or I have lime green. Lime green could be pretty cool. Or I have Mickey pumpkin, which I feel just kind of clashes with this. But I do like the idea of the Mickey pumpkin in case I want to take it to Disney or something. I don't think I have any like Mickey jelly vinyl though. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do bats and this Mickey pumpkin webbing. So let me go ahead and grab my cut chart for the exterior style. I don't think I'm gonna add a recessed zipper panel. That just seems like it'll be a lot. But it would be nice to have it close. You guys ever do this when you're making a bag? Just me? Okay. So I am making exterior style 1. So I'm gonna follow this cut list and I'll let you know what I change, what I do or don't do. Let's go ahead and start with our piece A. And clear vinyl can be tricky to cut. Just as far as like not being able to see it very easily. Oh man, it shifted on me. Let's see, how bad is it? That's pretty bad. All right, we'll make this our interfacing piece then. And I'm tempted to just cut out 1/2 of this to start and see what that's like and then decide what to do. This pattern was designed by me, so it's available on my website, as well as this clear TPU and the glitter. A lot of the products I use, I do offer on my website, so feel free to check that out. I try not to do a lot of like, I don't know, self-promotion, I guess, especially within the Facebook groups, but I do get a lot of comments like, where do you get this? Where do you get that? And I'm like, yo, I have a website. So there is the lower main panel. And I do want to add my pocket before I add the backing for that piece. So we'll go ahead and cut that out. Do I want to cut that out of clear or jelly? I don't know. So on my cut chart, I have it laminated so that I can kind of cross off as I go. So the lower main panel pattern piece, I've cut one of the two, and then the interfacing, which is our backing piece, I've cut one of the two. And then for the main panel slip pocket, you can have up to 2 total on the bag, but I think I'm just gonna do 1. And you could choose to make this into a little shaker pocket as well. You could just fold over the top edge, or you could add a little piece of binding to the pocket. I think I'm just gonna fold over that top edge. I think that'll be enough for me. And then it's not too bulky. Keep in mind, when you're using double-sided tape with clear vinyl, there is a very good chance that you'll see it through your project. Okay. And then my handles are going to be cut as directed in the pattern. And you want 2 of them. And then really quick, just to finish off this panel, I'll go ahead and cut the upper main panel, which is either a contrast piece, or we can also cut that out of the clear vinyl. I think I'm gonna do black jelly. Ooh, or lime green. I'm gonna say lime green. I think that works. The jelly vinyl that I'm using, I purchased from my friend Brittany at the Emporium. I believe she still has some available, but it's a really nice thickness. Like, it's not too thick, it's not too thin. It's just right. I'm also cutting out my upper side panel pieces while I'm at it. So upper main panel, I've cut 2, and upper side panel, I've cut 2. All right, I'm gonna run over to my machine really quick and sew this together. And we'll see how it looks, and then we can come back and cut out the rest. I'm gonna start by folding the top edge of my zipper, not my zipper, my slip pocket down. And you can fold this once, or you could choose to fold it twice. I'm just gonna fold it like 1/4 of an inch. You can do the top and the bottom of the pocket folded over. I'm just gonna do the top. And then make sure we've got the main panel, not the backing. So here's our backing. I'm gonna set that aside, put it with our glitter for now. Find our center. Along the bottom and the top. And then we're going to center this an inch above on the bottom panel. And then because eventually we're going to see, like, because this is a clear bag unlined, we're going to see those stitches. I'm going to just sew along the bottom, which is cool because you're going to sew over the sides of the pocket anyway when we add our handles. So backstitch to secure. You can pull your threads if you want. All right, and then we'll grab one of our handles. And then in the pattern, it mentions to find your center, measure 9 inches from either side. But I'm going to change it already on myself. I'm going to measure 13 inches up and try it this way. See how that works. So then I'm going to fold this in half and top stitch from line to line. Now my line that I've marked is on the wrong side of this handle, so I can't really see it. So at this point I'm just kind of guessing, and I'm folding this in half. It's a little hard on those like stiffer seatbelt webbings, but I feel like over time it kind of relaxes and sits a little better. If you're worried you'll forget where your mark is, you can add a clip. And then instead of folding everything at once, I'm just taking it a little bit at a time. Okay, so I'm getting close to that mark just to make sure I can see it. I'll leave my finger right there. And it should be about 18 inches long of a stitch line. Oh, mine's 16. It's not the end of the world though. Still be cute. Okay. And then in the pattern it says to add the handle first and then add this overlay piece. But somebody had mentioned it's a little bit easier to add your overlay and stitch it all together and then add your handles. So I'm like, okay. This is a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And now, as I'm thinking about it, this is gonna be where we might add that like hanging slip pocket. So on this side, I'm gonna do the outside slip pocket. On the other side, I'm going to choose not to. And I think I might add that hanging slip pocket. I'm not going to stitch, let's see how this fits in. Because this should be right up against our interfacing, which might be how we kind of lock this in place. Yeah, when I top stitch, I'll close that. So I'll top stitch after I add that. Okay, so our stitch line on those handles is facing up, and I'm just gonna use a 1/4 inch double-sided tape. Because again, this is gonna be clear. You might be able to see through to the other side. So we wanna add about 10 or 11 inches of double-sided tape. And then the handles are going to be placed 2.25 away from the center on either side. Lining up the bottom. And it's going to overlap our slip pocket. Okay, so instead of 13, I would do 12 inches of top stitch. It doesn't look bad, but if you like your top stitch to be a little bit closer to the edge of the handle, you could do that. Okay, making sure there's no twisting in that handle. Lay that down. And then I'm going to top stitch around the handle. Oh, measure it. You can do a box stitch, so if you measure 10 and 11 inches. So here's my 11 inch. 11, and then 10. And then in between that area is where you can add a box stitch or add rivets if you'd like. And the reason I didn't add that like interfacing backing panel yet is because I want the glitter to be able to move underneath all that. And if I sew through it, the glitter is kind of stuck in that same spot forever. And TPU can stick to your machine, so just do your best to not press down on your materials. And then I like to do a little back stitch over the top edge of that slip pocket. I wasn't sure if I should change my thread to like a neon green, but the pastel rainbow works really well. This thread is from geekyhardware.com. It is not like the highest quality of thread, but it's not bad. And for the color, you can't beat it. Like sometimes there are little areas of shredding, but I'm gonna add a little woven label underneath that. Cute. Okay, this is so cute. I love it. I'm excited. Okay, and then like I said, you are going to see these stitch lines, so if that's something that's like a deal breaker for you, then, I mean, don't do it, but I'm okay with it. I think it'll look really cool. All right, so I'm gonna stitch down about 1/8 of an inch along the inside edge of that clear vinyl. And I'm just really focusing on where the edge of my foot is next to that clear vinyl. If you're using a really small or fine glitter, you may want to add 2 rows of stitches. Oh my gosh, that looks so cool. So right now, like, the structure on this feels really nice. I probably should have switched to like a size 2, or no, not 2, that's too small. A size like 2.5 stitch length, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna open this over a trash can and kind of also dump it in over a trash can, but we've got this nice big area. I don't know how much is enough, and okay, that seems like too much. But also somehow the perfect amount. I don't throw away this little thing. If you're a toddler-free house, you might be able to. Just in case, I'm not going to. All right, before I shake it, I'm gonna seal this, and I'm gonna, oh my gosh, it's the perfect amount of glitter. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm so excited. All right, this is gonna get folded down. And you could top stitch this twice, just because it is a 1/2 inch seam allowance that we used. And we should be catching the top edge of that backing slash interfacing piece. And yeah, I'm gonna sew across that twice, once at like 1/8 and once at 1/4, just so I know for sure it's sewn through. So we've got our slip pocket here. And then I'm just shaking this kind of over the trash can to distribute the bats and glitter. Oh my god. It's so much fun. Okay, we're gonna cut out the other side and the side panels. I don't know if I'm gonna add the glitter to the side panels. I think I'm still gonna add that like lining piece, but I don't know if I'm gonna do the glitter. Just cause like, it's a lot. Maybe it's not though. Maybe it's just enough. We'll see. All right, so now that I know my plan works, I can go ahead and cut out the rest. I'm gonna use this green for my bottom panel. I am gonna cut out 2 layers, 2 pieces, because I want to add at least 1 piece of Decaville heavy. So I'll sandwich that in between those 2 layers. So there's that. I don't think I need any other jelly vinyl, so I'll go ahead and put this away. And now we will be needing more clear than we would have if we were just making like the regular bag, because I'm using the clear as our interfacing as well. So you'll want to try to like kind of add those measurements together. And then I think instead of like adding another piece of jelly or anything like that, I'm just gonna fold and top stitch the edge of the bag. And that is where I could add my recessed zipper panel. If I believe I'm adding it, but I'm still debating in my head. And then I'm not adding that exterior slip pocket to this side. I just don't think for the purpose of this bag that 2 are necessary. That and a clear vinyl pocket is going to be a little bit stickier than the pattern is written for, so it might not be as usable. I'm cutting my centers. I'm gonna set that aside. And then that's it for this piece, so I can put it away. And then this is our lower main panel interfacing. And then I should have enough to still get the side panel main pieces, but I'm not sure about the interfacing. So that's my interfacing. I did not mark the centers on my interfacing because I don't want any marks along that panel. So I'll be able to differentiate those a little bit easier when I get to my cutting machine. My sewing machine. So I'm debating for my recessed zipper panel, I could choose to just make it 1 layer of clear. 2 feels like a lot, especially if I'm not adding another row of jelly. So I'll go ahead and cut just 2 pieces from this template piece. especially since I've got like the perfect little size here, but I'm not sure if I'll cut out second ones or not. And then yeah, like I said, this clear vinyl is hard to see when you're cutting. That's one of the reasons I like using printed TPU, because it's a lot easier to see. And then I would caution not cutting out too many things to sew at once, because you're gonna get a headache trying to focus on all of it, in my experience. And luckily I have like lights in my room at the moment that are like shining off the surface. So that's kind of helpful. All right, here is my lower side panel. You gotta cut out 2 of these. And then yeah, I don't have enough from this 18-inch roll to cut out my backing piece for this. But I do still want to back it. And then some of these chunks might be big enough to save for ID windows. So I'll go ahead and cut it about there and save the rest. So that would be it for my side panel. So I'll set that aside. I think that's it for this slip pocket piece. So I can set that aside. I'm gonna grab another roll because I do want my interfacing pieces. Oh good, I do have another roll. I was like, well, let's hope that I have another roll. And since this is a somewhat fresh roll, I can be a little more precise and intentful as I'm cutting. Because this is an angled panel, I can flip this around to fit within the negative space of the other one so that we're not wasting. Okay, so let's think here. I've got my zipper panel, which I can just add to the very, very top edge before I sew it down. I like the idea of just one layer for that. I've got my side panels and my side panel interfacing pieces. Lower main panel, I cut out my 2. I just did the 1. Bottom panel, I cut 2. Lower side panel, I cut 2 and 2 interfacing. We still need to cut out our stabilizer. We're not doing a zipper overlay. And then for crossbody strap connectors, I could still definitely add it to the bag. It's not gonna hurt. It doesn't take much. So I'll go ahead and grab my my jelly vinyl for that. And we're just gonna cut this to 2 inches by 3 inches. And there is a piece for it within the templates. These templates are from That Template Shop. I rush ordered a set of templates to cut class kits for Sew Magical Expo, so what is public might look a little bit different. Because there's so many options in the pattern, I don't know how they're going to sell it, but we'll figure it out. And then I do think I want to add that big slip pocket. So we're going to take our zipper pocket lining piece, and I think the jelly will be nice for that so it's not so sticky. So we'll cut one. It's a good little scrap. And then I'll lay this one down by about an inch so that it's a little bit shorter. And then when we sandwich them together, that's our slip pocket. So we'll fold this edge down about 1/4 of an inch, top stitch, and then sandwich them together. All right. Trying to think if I need anything else. Oh yeah, my stabilizer. So this is just going to be one layer of Decaville Heavy, and I'm not going to heat press it on, I'm just going to baste it. I think that'll work. All right, so that I believe is everything we're going to need. I'm so excited to put this together. So let's get to it. I'm so excited to put this together. I hope you will join me in a couple of days to sew it all together. I'm glad I was able to give you a little preview of doing the one side and get you excited about making this.